This is Kicking and Streaming Podcast.
I'm going to start right off the bat by saying this has been an absolute fucking shit week.
Yes.
And I don't know that there are a lot of people in the US laughing their heads off of anything except for the very cruel and absolutely fucked up Christian right and 6 assholes in the Supreme Court of the United States. Other than that, peachy, innit?
Yeah.
Peachy. Absolutely peachy. And like I said, this show is about reviewing, movies, TV series, and tell you what we watched and why we liked it and things of that nature. We have already done a bonus episode when the leak of the Supreme Court decision came out. We did an episode and we told you what we thought. So this isn't new, and we're not beating on the same horse or anything like that.
No.
But we sort of knew this was going to happen. We knew. But we also thought that there was a chance that with the league, something could have changed. But it didn't. It didn't because Supreme Court people are unelected officials and they have a lifetime appointment, and they don't have to do anything based on what the polls say, but whatever restricted and very personal interpretations they have of the law and of the Constitution. And so we see 6 people who, during their confirmation time, literally lied to Congress by saying, I have no agenda and I will respect the precedent of Roe v. Wade. And although that is not an answer, I don't know why Congress has ever accepted that as an answer.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the most non-answer possible. It's like, Roe v. Wade is the law of the land. Okay. That doesn't mean you don't want to change it.
Right.
You're just telling me, well, that's the law.
Right. Right.
Okay. That's not what I'm asking you, though.
You ought to know that since you're a judge. I'm happy you know that's the law. So good for you. You passed one hurdle.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, the actual what you're actually going to do or not do about it. So yeah, it would be delightful to get all those folks up for perjury, since that was supposed to be an answer. It's a non-answer, but if that's what they're claiming was their answer, then they should be up for perjury.
Definitely.
So yeah, they are non-elected, but they are put in place definitely by people who have been elected by the current system that is in place in the United States. So not popular election, but the election of certain parties. So of course even though they're not supposed to, they are always going to have a political slant and a political agenda. So again, not put in place by election, as you said, Graham, but they are put in place by those who have been elected. So it's not a contest in the sense of a popularity contest, but in the sense of, whose party are you going to do the service of to get you in the position? So, and then of course, then they get to spread their personal beliefs through the position that they've been given.
Right. Which is not what the entire system is about, should be about at all.
Nope. The commercial that was on a few years ago, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. It was about Facebook.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, it's true. That's not how any of this is supposed to work. But, when you get to late stage capitalism, this is what happens.
Absolutely.
And so the first time in history, our children are going to have less rights than we came into the world with. So, and if anybody thinks that this is just about abortion, you're very naive.
Yep.
Or very stupid. If any of you think that this is about being pro-life or pro-choice, again, you are very naive or very stupid. Anytime a freedom is taken away, this is the first in a very long line of carefully placed dominoes, and you're going to start seeing things going away maybe quickly, maybe slowly, but things are going to start happening that do not just apply to women and women's rights. And again, the people who believe that this is just about the babies are wrong. and you're wrong, and you're completely wrong, and you don't know anything about anything, and I wish you'd picked up a book once in your goddamn fucking life.
Do you know what? I would exhort people to take a look at the reasoning for this. The decision itself, if you take a read into it, the basis for the decision is basically saying, well, the Constitution, which was written 250 plus years ago,
over 250 years ago,
did not make a special mention for abortion. So if the Constitution does not say it, then fuck it. And in that same context, so that's Alito's argument. Within that same context, Clarence Thomas actually alludes to, and that means that we should reconsider gay marriage, this, that, and that. So to a certain extent, it's not long before the Supreme Court says, well, the Constitution didn't say that Black people could vote.
Yep.
I mean, it's been amended, but what's
But
an amendment if the founding fathers didn't think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, women really shouldn't be allowed to vote either. And that whole
have a
freedom of
car.
religion thing, that just applies to Christianity.
Yeah.
Because they were Christians. So
Yeah.
that's only Christian, and that's only our form of Christianity, by the way. Whatever we've decided is state sanctioned at this point. So
Yeah.
whoever is throwing enough money in the pot, and whoever is paying enough, that's going to be the religion that gets to be the freedom of religion. So folks, know, if you think that this only affects the babies, yeah, you're stupid. You're so stupid. And I am terrified for the children and for the kids that are coming up, because either there's going to have to be out and out war between the classes, the races, and the sexes, or we're going down a very dystopian path of not just women losing their rights, but so many people losing their rights to so many things. And I can't even express how disgusted, disheartened, and scared I am, and also at the same time not surprised.
I would actually pose this question to Americans right now. What would you say if anyone would ask you, is there Sharia law in your country? What would be your answer? Because I remember a time when Barack Obama was president, the Republican legislatures all over the country made it a point to create legislation in which they denounced Sharia law, and they would never accept that Sharia law be imposed in this country. And the only reason they were doing it, it was because at the time, it was very convenient, because this implied that Barack Obama, who has always said that he was a Christian, but that would imply that Barack Obama was a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Muslim, his purpose was to impose Sharia law in this country. Weird Muslim that went to some, Ebenezer church and shit for his most of his adult life in Chicago, but whatever, right? And so that was the thing. Sharia law, Sharia law. The problem is, like, most of these motherfuckers don't understand what Sharia law is, which is law imposed based on a religion. And Sharia, in that respect, is, of course, referring to Arabic countries with laws that are imposed by Islam. But our laws are based on biblical tenets too.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck are we?
Mm-hmm.
What do we have here? The notion that these motherfuckers yesterday, right? So we record the show on Saturday. So on Friday, completely abolished a ruling that gave women reproductive right, the agency to the reproductive rights that was precedent for 50 plus years, 51 year by now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you tell me, if that's not based on religion, it's not based on law, it's not based on nothing else but religion. So yes, Sharia law, it does exist in the United States, and we're living in it now.
Yep. And pure hatred of women. This
Yes.
country hates women more than it hates anyone else, I think. And I know that that's going to make a lot of people probably disagree with me. But if you look at things that have happened over the years and things that have not happened over the years. This country has a seated misogyny that goes so deep, I don't even think that we as women who experience it every day can comprehend it or understand how much we are hated by people. More so, of course, if you are of color, if you are poor, if you
Agree.
are anything other than what fits the conformity of what a quote unquote perfect Christian woman is supposed to look like,
Yeah.
or act like. But even then, you are completely hated. You are despised in this country. You are not a human. You are not equal. And the idea that you even think that you are, that you even think that you are, is so repulsive and so terrifying that the very first law of freedom that gets struck down has to involve women and women's rights.
Absolutely.
That's the first law that has to go, freedom.
Yes.
And because freedom for women, because we're such a subset of otherness and of hatedness that of course it's going to be easy to take this away from us because we don't even really exist as people. So remove this freedom, and then that paves the way for us to start taking the freedom from other people, from
Yeah.
those we might consider people a little bit tiny, sort of,
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The other ones.
the other
Yeah.
ones, we'll start
Yeah.
taking from the other ones.
From the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
if you think about it, like there's the top 5 most hated women in the United States. No, the top 5 most hated people in the United States are women,
yeah.
and can start with Hillary Clinton, Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Give me 2 more. Uh, but like, I mean, really, for instance, the hatred toward Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez is just insane.
Yeah.
During COVID, there were a bunch of motherfuckers planning, actually plotting to kill the Michigan governor. She's a woman.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's always the most hatred is for women.
Yeah.
That's this country.
To me, that
So
was fully demonstrated in the presidential elections, because for Donald Trump to get elected as president over Hillary Clinton, the entire reason is hatred of women. That's honestly the only reason that you can give,
yeah,
because I know there's other reasons. I'm simplifying it, but honestly,
That's the main reason. Like, that's the main. I heard people trying to rationalize why they wouldn't vote for Hillary,
Mhm.
and they made up reasons just so that they wouldn't say because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And they were like, that is a stupid. I remember somebody saying, "But it's just something about her," and I'm like, "Oh,
It's because she's a
boobs,
woman.
vagina."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no, no. It's not about that. I just don't quite trust her.
and
Right.
you trust the
You
orange
fuck off.
licked Cheeto. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, okay.
So, no, it's ridiculous and stupid, that's all.
Right. So, this has been an entire rant, and we have not even yet started the show. What we are set out to talk about. By the way, when we decided to discuss this show, which is a documentary on HBO Max called The Janes, when we decided to do this, we actually didn't even know that the decision of the Supreme Court about Roe versus Wade was going to be rendered on the week before. So this is very apropos, but it wasn't something that we decided, a decision that we based. In fact, Jocelyn, you suggested this,
Mhm,
even though it had been a few weeks since it premiered,
mhm.
and we knew about it, but we weren't even planning on talking about it until you mentioned, you know what? I know it's been a few weeks. Let's do it. So it's not like you knew anything, is it, Jojo?
No.
Maybe you've got some sources
Maybe
that
maybe I've got women's intuition. Oh god. Uh,